We all deserve a standing ovation to this incredible entrepreneur, Mike Filsaime. This means a great deal. Mike Filsaime.
Oh, thank you. I'm good. You guys getting me a little choked up here. All right, let's get my slides up. Thank you, Barry. Not easy to hear those things and then get up and talk. Yeah, I need sunglasses for sure. Let me get, I've got to control my slides from here. Let me just connect this while we're talking. And Mike, we can go full screen here, maybe just be a little better there. I got my little confidence monitor here. All right, 3 quick little shameless plugs first. Stand on my mark here. First is I do something called the Marketer's Cruise. Who hasn't heard of the Marketer's Cruise? Raise your hand. Okay, about half the room. All right, so this November, we set sail every January, but because of COVID, obviously it was canceled. Carnival Cruise Lines just started cruising again 2 weeks ago. We are booked. We'll just do it one more time. Who here is a Grooster? All right, so what that means is I have nothing to sell you. You're already my customer. So I don't have a sales pitch for you today, so I'm gonna be doing an all-content presentation. I'm gonna get my, here's my little slides here. So I use my Apple Keynote app here so I can control the slides so I don't have to keep running over there. So here we go. Groove, direct response offers. That's what we're gonna be talking about today, the lost fundamentals of online marketing. All right, so people buy special offers, they don't buy products. Your job is to create special offers and attach them to your products. Let me say that one more time. This is so important. People don't buy products. They buy special offers. Your job is to create a special offer and then attach it to your product. Let me give you an example, unpack that a little bit, an example that'll make a little sense. There's a furniture store. It's been in your neighborhood for 30 years, your whole life. You drive by it every single day and you've never been there. And one day you're driving down with your spouse or your girlfriend or boyfriend, and all of a sudden you see these lights, from a mile away. You're like, what in the world is going on over here? There's lights flashing. You get by, you see one of those, blow-up men floating like this, and there's clowns in the parking lot and popcorn machines, and it's like a big event. They got a Ferris wheel and they've got a tent outside, and then you go by and you see a sign, and above there it says, going out of business. That's called a reason why, right? Every sale needs a reason why. So this particular sale is a going out of business. Going out of business sales, and if many of you know about the furniture businesses, they're going out of business all the time. They're always going out of business. Then after that, it says, everything must go Sunday by midnight. And you're like, oh my God, it's Saturday. I mean, half the stuff's already gone. You pull into the parking lot. And then it says, everything 80% off or more. So right there, you pulled in not because you wanted to buy furniture, you don't even know what you want. You pulled in because you want a special offer. That's how we're wired. We're wired to special offers with a consequence. So consequences happen with urgency and scarcity. If it ends tomorrow, well, then that person that's walking out got better picks than you, so there's scarcity. The inventory is going. You have to move quick. And they're going out of business Sunday at midnight. So everything expires. After that, the deal's over. And then, so there's implied consequences that you can't get this special deal. Your spouse says to you, honey, what are you doing? Say, well, I want to look at some of the furniture. Look at this lamp. 2 for $5, but we don't even need a lamp. Yeah, but the deal is so good, right? So I use that example because I really want to drive home this slide here. People buy special offers. They don't buy products. Obviously they do, but what makes them take out their credit card and hit the add to cart button is the special offer. Your job is to create special offers. Okay, we're going to talk about what an offer is and attach them to your product. Many times when I talk to somebody, I say, what's your offer? And they just say, it's my product. And no, like your offer, like what is the offer? They say, oh, it's just my product at $497. So I'll talk more about that. Mike, next slide for me, please. Thanks. All right, these 6 words. The opening sentence to probably my favorite book. Good is the enemy of great. That was written by Jim Collins. It's the author of Good to Great. And that's how the book starts. Think about what that says. Good is the enemy of great. That's what we're going to be talking about today. How good is the avenue of failure in online marketing. If you just do a good job, you're just not going to get your ads to work. You're not going to get your SEO to work. If you're just pulling out a Groove template or a ClickFunnels template and you don't understand that is a basis to start with, that's your mise en place, but you have to know how to turn that into an offer and how to do the proper copywriting. And all of these little things are what makes a campaign that's just losing money to a campaign that scales to $100 million. It's the difference between being good and great. You have to be great in this industry. And you're in this room, so I'm going to give you a high five for it already. These are the things that you're investing in. I'm seeing the great rock star presenters that are here this weekend, and I'm seeing how they're connecting with you, and I'm very happy for you. Because you're saying, I'm not just going to be good. I'm not going to be somebody that's out there that is going to settle for making $800 a month. There's a lot of people that are going to give you a pat on the back. Look at that. Like Michelle, she just made her first sale with her store the other day. We went out and celebrated. But we've got to turn that into a business, right? And so we can't be good. We got to be great. All right, next slide there, Mike. All right. It's not the best expert who wins. I'll say that one more time. It is not the best expert who wins. It's the best marketer of the expertise who is known as the best expert. Let that sink in. I know many of you are in different fields, personal development, and raise your hand if you've seen somebody that's doing a little better than you online, but you know they don't know half of what you know. Admit it. That hurts, doesn't it? Right? And then you hear somebody going, this person's the expert. And you're like, well, I mean, I'm the expert. I know more than this person. They're actually teaching wrong information. And it's tough to see that, but what happens is they're very, very good at the marketing. So we too have to be very, very good at the marketing, right? So it's the best marketer of the expertise that is known as the expert. So these are some things that I wanted to put in your head first before we go through the slides there. Next one. All right. This is something that I don't know how, I'm going to make sure we get the resources. I thought it was going to be a little bit bigger. I was going to invite you to take a picture of that slide. I'll leave it up there for about a minute while I talk about it. But if you want to walk up, take a picture. If you can't, if it's not going to be too good, these are the about 18 different books that I recommend on copywriting, and they're all the ones that have changed my life. Every single book right there, I have a hard copy in my library. And those of you on the live stream right now, if you're seeing that, just take a screenshot of the screen right there. You can get almost everything here at Amazon. I'm talking $15 to $25 things. There's nothing there that costs $997. Not that that's bad, because they're just books, right? There's no video courses or anything with it. Yeah, buddy.
Is your library bigger than your television?
The question was, is my library bigger than my television? Yeah, I have 3 libraries, and I have some that were so big that they didn't even make it when we moved. I am the type of person that buys everything 3 times. I buy it on Audible, I buy it on Kindle, and I buy the hardcover. And when I'm at an event and somebody tells me to buy a book, I get it and I keep it on my desk. And I'll use this expression because it's Eben Pagan's. He says, I asked him one day, he's always giving out books. I said, do you read these books? And he says, no. He says, you got to make the book your bitch. And that was his expression. And I said to him, what does that mean? He said, there's usually a hero chapter of every book. You got to find out what that hero chapter is. Some of the beginning is just preface, and then after that, it's just case studies. And he goes and he finds out the hero section of every book. And that's why I put those books in front of me, so that when I have some downtime time, I'll find those hero chapters. So the important ones here that I highlighted that are a must have and must read. You don't make the book your bee. These you actually read from cover to cover. Everybody learns different. I understand that. For me, what I like to do is, I do a daily walk. Really tough in Florida in the summer. For about an hour a day, and I'll just put on Audible and I listen to these books while I walk. And then the problem is I don't want to go back home, so I take the long way, and I end up doing a good hour and 40 minutes because the content is so good. And I'm usually texting myself, or I'll text Michelle because I need somewhere for the information to go. Remind me to do this, and I come home with 10 different things that I'm going to change on my website. And so you're seeing the first one says Influence, the Psychology of Persuasion by Robert Cialdini. That, to me, is one of the most powerful books I've ever read. It has nothing to do with copywriting. And copywriting is just the final coat of paint, really, on understanding what motivates people, what does compliance. And if you've ever heard of social proof, urgency, scarcity, authority, liking, reciprocity, all those things, every market ever talking about it came from this book. And very, very powerful. I came from 14 years in the car business, so I understand how these things, how they work, how they engage with people to comply. And they can be used for evil and they can be used for good. That's how powerful it is. And God forbid it gets in the hands of evil people. I'm not going to say the names, but we've seen different direct response marketers on TV over the years go to jail for how powerful this stuff can be, right? So when it's used for good, it's like anything else. It's like nuclear technology. The next one there you see, this should be the very first book that you read. You should get it today on the break or go to Amazon while I'm talking. I won't be offended. It's called The No BS Direct Marketing by Dan Kennedy, the ultimate no holds barred. I'm reading my script there, Mike. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, the ultimate no holds barred, kick butt, take no prisoners direct marketing for non-direct marketing businesses. This book will drive it into you on. You're just gonna love all types of traffic, not just free traffic. You're gonna love paid traffic. We're spending $25,000 a day in our company on paid traffic. Let me ask you this question so I can reframe some of your minds on paid traffic. If you knew that you could go to the casino and bet $500 on red and every single time it was going to pay you $600, would you stand in front of that casino for the rest of your life? That's paid advertising, folks. That's paid advertising. There's two things with advertising. One is getting the click, and number two is converting the click. That's it. It's that simple. If anybody says, I tried Google, I tried Facebook, I tried YouTube, it didn't work for me, I say to them with a little bit of a joke, what happened? You gave Facebook $500 and they just stole your money? Say, no. Well, did they give you, because if I give them $500, they give me $500 worth of traffic. Did you get $500 worth of traffic? Yes. It didn't work for me. Oh, so you have a conversion problem. All the stuff we're talking about. You don't have a traffic problem. If there was a traffic problem, Facebook would be out of business. They have the inventory. That's everybody's business model these days. So we have to understand that the traffic is there to work for you. And let me tell you, if it doesn't work for paid traffic, it's not going to work for your JV partners when they mail for you. It's not going to work for your SEO and everything that everybody's teaching you, right? So that's why this event is called monetize traffic, not getting traffic or traffic hacking, because you have to be able to monetize that traffic. All right, the next one there, it's called Predictably Irrational by Dan Ariely. Then there's Yes by Robert Cialdini. That's another good book by Robert Cialdini. Probably my favorite book it's my go-to book. I just absolutely love this. It's kind of like Influence, the Psychology of Persuasion, but it's made for marketers. The Influence, the Psychology of Persuasion was made by a college professor. He was studying psychology, and he originally wrote the first version of the book to warn consumers about how people were using these tactics. And then he started getting invited to speak at every marketing conference, and he rewrote the book for marketers in the second revision. That's a true story. Joe Sugarman, he's from Blue Blockers, the glasses on the infomercials. His book, Triggers, 30 Sales Tools You Can Use to Control the Mind of Your Prospects to Motivate, Influence, and Persuade. Super fun, powerful books. It takes everything from influence to psychology of persuasion and then gives you exactly how you do it in direct response. And then the last one, gosh, I think this book is from like 1915 or 1920. They're very, very hard to get, but you can find them on the internet. That one might, if you're lucky, you can get it for $20, but it might cost you like $250. That's what I paid for it there. It's been out of print for many years. It's called the Robert Collier Letter Book, and this is like the father of mailing letters to people. He started this back in the 1920s, and he actually mailed to people all over the United States and told them to send cash in an envelope. And he is one of the fathers of copywriting. All right, next slide. Funnel templates is the death of the direct response marketer. Please forgive me, Lead Pages and ClickFunnels, for what we've done to you. We've ruined your opportunity to learn direct response. Templates force you to fill in the blanks and may be leaving out the fundamentals of direct response. Sometimes we pick a template because we like the way it looks, but this one doesn't have a pre-headline and a sub-headline. You always need a pre-headline. You always need a sub-headline. Sometimes they left out the bullets. So we end up saying whatever this thing says here, insert your headline here, we do, and then we publish, and we wonder why our pages aren't converting. When I grew up in this industry, we didn't have templates. We had to start with a blank canvas. So after Dear Friend, which we used to write, we had to know copywriting. And copywriting was something that was taught. 30% of the speakers were talking copywriting. Everybody been around almost as long as me? Or I've been around since 2002 doing this. Who's been doing this before 2008? I'm curious. Two hands in the room, 3. So this is great news. You guys are coming in right at the easy time. So what I want you to know is that I'm really taking my time today to talk to you about how important understanding direct response marketing is, where it came from, what its history is, who's the lineage of this type of stuff. All right, next slide. All right, so let me give you an example of good to great from a template, what GrooveFunnels, my company, will ruin for you, what ClickFunnels will ruin for you when you get a template in the very, very bottom says that. Let's read that. It says, no thank you, I don't want this amazing one-time offer. Well, we don't know your product, so we can't write the copy for you. But many of you just leave those in there. I'm going to ask a question. Has anybody done an upsell before? Had a page like this? Leave your hand up if you can. Leave your hand up if you've left a text like that. Okay, and put your hand up if you've changed the text, like if you put copywriting there. Okay, great. So we know what we're doing, and it's okay because these are the things we're going to go through. Let's go to the next slide here. All right. So this is great, right? So when I say everything good to great, we've got to look at everything. Every single thing that we do on the page. How can we take this headline and go from good to great? How can we put it in quotes? Can we change the font color from red to black? Do we do a pre-headline? The picture that we're using, am I in a suit or am I holding my cat? And all of these different things are going to help us. So I'm going to read this one here. This is for Groove. This is the one that when you sign up for Groove, it says, no thanks, I don't like lifetime deals. I like paying for things forever. I realize that the only option is to pay for Groove for $299 a month or that much money to software companies. I understand when I pass on this option, it will never be made to me again. When I realize I love the service, I will be totally happy to pay you $299 a month or $3,600 a year. And then the link to click says, no, I don't like lifetime deals. I like paying monthly forever. I'm making it very difficult for the person, like, oh, I can't click that, my goodness. And it's restating the consequence. Here's what's about to happen. I'm about to click that. Let's take a look at another example that we use on one of our other upsells. Next slide. All right. This is something we did a Groovathon back in October of last year. We went live stream for 17 days, never stopped. We had over 100 speakers. And then we created something called the Best of the Groovathon. We spent 6 months editing it, putting it in transcripts, putting it into a PDF, and I give it away for $1. If you want to know why I give it away for $1, it's because I'm making an irresistible offer at the start of my funnel, and now I have your credit card, and it makes one-click upsells easy. It's a little bit of a secret right there that you should be doing. If you have upsells, precede your upsell with the most ridiculous offer you can, and sell it for $1. Because you just put the customer into a buying mood. They quote unquote have their credit card out through the rest of your process. A $9.97, one click. It's that easy because I already got it on the no-brainer offer. So if they want to not buy this Best of the Groovathon, instead of no thanks, I'll pass on this offer, it says no thanks, I'll learn on my own. I have better things to do with my $1 and I don't like learning from experts. If I want to learn this later, I'm happy to pay you $599. I prefer to skip this and save my $1. The difference between good and great. All right? Don't be ashamed to do this. Don't. This is helping your clients. If you believe in what you're doing, you have to let them know the consequences. Let's do one more for the fun of it. All right, this is with Rich Sheffrin and I. You're going to learn from him in a little while. He's going to be doing a Steal Our Winners, the best of the Steal Our Winners for you. So what Rich Sheffrin does, for Steal Our Winners, I think it's $49 a month. And he interviews 8 people a month that you've never heard of, but they're running $5 million, $10 million, and $100 million companies. They're the CEOs, the CMOs, the marketers, the copywriters, social media managers, and they don't speak on stage. And he gets them, and they don't have anything to sell, so they give away all their secrets, right? And so Rich is interviewing 8 of these people a month, and then Rich and I do something called the Best of CLR Winners, and we combine it on a 2-hour show every month, and we put it together. So we're telling people you can do this for a $1 trial. So the no thanks link here, instead of saying no thanks, I'll pass on this offer, says no thanks, I'm not interested in getting monthly access to exclusive case studies with the world's leading digital marketers. I know this information cannot be found anywhere. I like learning from anonymous people in free forums. I don't want to learn the secrets of the CEOs that run multi-million-dollar businesses. A little bit tongue-in-cheek there. We have a little bit of fun with these things, but we have to state it's a summary. That's the only way out of the page. Think about this. The only way out of the page is to click the no thanks link. So don't just have it say no thanks. Have them read. It's a reverse premise of the offer. They have to say no thanks. I don't want what you're promising. All right. Moving on. Next slide here. All right. Who do we got here? Rich Sheffrin. He's going to be speaking soon. You got a much better picture than I look there. Obviously, we use our best pictures online, right? You got Frank Kern, Russell Brunson, Barry Plaskow, Mike Long, Ryan Dice, Perry Belcher, Jeff Walker. Obviously, there's a million things you could say about what all of these people have in common. So let's go to the next slide and we'll see what they have in common. We all learn from this lineage. Anybody not know those 2 people up there? It's okay, raise your hand. I'm curious if you don't know who those 2 people are. Raise them high, I'm curious. All right, and then everybody shout it out since we know it, the top 2 names.
Gary Halbert.
And Gary Halbert and yeah, Gary Halbert, Dan Kennedy, the fathers of direct response marketing. So have you ever noticed that, like, when you go to an order form, there's like a red dash, like, right, order bumps, we put little red borders around things, and we have terms like Johnson boxes. We have terms like above the fold, right? You know what, on your screen, if you have to scroll to see something, like to see the order button, we say, hey, your order button should be above the fold. It should be there right on the screen or on their phone when they see that. That came from these guys mailing people letters. And so when you opened the fold of a 3-way folded envelope, you wanted the most important thing above the fold. Because if they had to fold 3 times, if you didn't get them on the first fold, they're going to fold it back. So these expressions, above the fold, bumps, Johnson boxes, all these different things came from guys that couldn't do email. They had to mail to people's houses with a SASE, self-addressed stamped envelope. Remember that? You used to hear that? Self-addressed stamped envelope so that you could put the money in there and they could pay you. And they used to say something like Department 3C. You know what the Department 3C meant? It meant that it was Sports Illustrated July. So when they got the check back and they saw the department, they knew what magazine the customer bought from. That's the only way they could track. So they didn't want to ask the customer, how did you hear about us? They said, send it to this department and the department. So these guys were testing, and when you're spending money to mail, like we have it so easy. How did your email do? Yeah, not that good. What did it cost you? Nothing. It was just an email, right? But these guys, they had to be great. And Gary Halbert was doing $100 million plus a year. And there were people paying him $50,000 a year to learn his secrets. And Dan Kennedy, the reason why Dan Kennedy's under him, Dan Kennedy was his intern. Dan Kennedy learned from Gary Halbert, worked for Gary Halbert for years, and went on his own. And in many ways, I think Dan is obviously a better teacher, him and Bill Glazer. But when we got online, we bought all these guys' products. Russell Brunson, in my opinion, probably the best marketer of everybody on that screen if we bring it back. Everybody on that screen, let's face it, Russell's good, right? He's young, he's exciting. Hey, everybody, today, right? It's Russell. It's who he is, and he's a good marketer. It's all coming from direct response. He's a student of direct response. He knows what he's doing because he learned it, and so can you. All right, moving on. All right. So that says, and can anybody read that? Do you know what that is right there? Yeah, that's the lyrics to Tiny Dancer. And what does it say there? This is not a song. All right. Those are lyrics. Next slide, please. Now it's a song, right? I figured his name is what's his partner's name? Bernie Taupin. Yeah, Bernie Taupin and Elton John. Bernie Taupin wrote pretty much, you can say 90 8% of every Elton John song. And Bernie just wrote the lyrics. Elton would say, that looks like the melody is going to work like this, and they'd work together and they created a song. All right, let's go to the next slide here. I love this slide. This is not copywriting, that's copy. Okay? That's copy, not copywriting. All right? Let's go to the next slide so I can show you what I mean by that. That is copywriting. When you merge the copy with formatting. So some of the biggest mistakes that I see, it happens in our company. When I spotted it, I realized that copywriting is collaborative. And I'll explain what happens in a minute. The wrong way that it's being done in a company is having a copywriter that you say, hey, we need this. And then the copywriter dumps a Google Doc of just text. That's copy, not copywriting. And then you take that copy and stick it into a GrooveFunnels or a ClickFunnels template, and it looks ridiculous because the template wasn't designed for that much text. And then you have this, just this dinosaur-looking page. It looks terrible. And so what I want you to picture is that copywriting is a collaborative process, like writing a song. When you're having copy done, you need the technical people there. You need to decide the medium. Are we going to be doing this on video? Or are we going to be doing this on a page? Or are we doing this for a webinar? Is this for a landing page? Because then the copy can't be that long, right? What happens if you get too much copy from your copywriter? You don't need it for the landing page. You can't let the copywriter dictate how the page is going to look. And you can't let your designer design the landing page and then have 3 bullet points. Remember what we said, funnels are the death of direct response. What happens when you have 3 bullet points on a template by your designer? You only come up with 3 bullet points. All right, that's like putting the guitar player, the bass player, the singer, and the drummer in 4 separate rooms. And then when they come together, say, let's see how this sounds as a song. That's how many of us are doing our copy. We're trying to just pick this template, take this copy and merge it, and I see it all the time. It looks terrible. What we need to do, nobody knows your product better than you. You get together with the copywriter and the designer, and you say, this is what I want to get across. I want to get across this. I want to get across this. The copywriter may say, that is going to take that's a lot for me to get across there in 1 paragraph. We'll say, interesting. Maybe what we'll do is we'll have a little button that says learn more in a pop-up modal with a video. But you see that we're creating a song together, right? We're collaborating. How does this riff sound? Let me put a beat on that or a bass riff or something like that. That's how copywriting has to be done. I saw it happen in my company. We have a copywriter, great for email, great for swipes, and all of a sudden, Leanne, we're going to need this, right? And then she does a great job with copywriting, but then my designer picks a template that was meant to look like this on the page, but now we put this much copy and it looked like, go to the previous slide. It looked like this. Well, let's go back now. Understanding when to use highlights, when to use bold, when to use ellipses, when to use bullet points, when to use different colors, how to break up copy, how to tell stories. Too much for me to go into right now, but this is the difference between, Michelle, go backwards one, good, and now forward to great. We have to know that we have to take the time to be great. Now, it's okay. I'm not saying that you have to know all of these things. You can hire people to do this. You can barter with people to do this. You can partner with people to do this. Some people are what I call the talent, right? I don't know any of this stuff. I just know how to teach you how to get 6-pack abs or find a lover or get over a divorce or whatever the case is. And this stuff is technical. Great. Come to this event, go to the Marketer's Cruise, find somebody that says, I'm really good at copywriting the technical, I just don't like getting on camera. Great. Chocolate and peanut butter. That's it. Find somebody to help you with these things. What did Barry do? He just said that. He said he went and he found a partner to help him do that. You don't have to go it alone, but it does have to get done great. All right, next. It says copy and layout fundamentals. These are the must-have items in visual communications, all right? You need to have a headline and always so I'm talking about a landing page, not a video sales letter or a webinar. But if it is on my webinar slide, it says there the headline needs to be in quotes, all right? If we remember, who remembers when back in the day, this is pre-2010 stuff, we tested Every time you put a headline in quotes, it converts better. Anybody come back from that school? That's just a fact. You know why we don't do that anymore? GrooveFunnels and ClickFunnels. Don't trust my designers. What are they? Designers. They don't know direct response. These things have gotten lost. And there are things that I'm even realizing, like, oh my goodness, right? We've got to go back to these basics. And I went back and I started studying all of these things that we've tested over the years that work better. The reverse pyramid basically means that you want your headline looking like this and like slowly going like this. You don't want one line going like this, the next line like this, the next line like this, and like that. You know what I'm talking about? Sometimes you write a headline and you don't like the fact that the and moved to this line and you lower the font, right? These are things that are important. All right. Next, using pre-headlines and subheadlines. Pre-headlines are the smaller text above the headline, and a subheadline is underneath. So let me tell you my thought on pre-headlines, headlines, and subheadlines. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you that I learned this from Joe Sugarman. Headlines should be 4 to 6 words. 4 to 6 words. And they should be big, huge, and fat. Like, get more traffic. Right? Quick, instant. Like, I land on the page and I know what's going on. Double your Instagram followers. Big headline. So now I just taught you what goes in the pre-headline and the subheadline. Your old headlines. Right? Finally, a way to this, that, and the other thing without having to do this and all that type of stuff. Big headline, and then underneath that, now you can put like 3 lines, 4 lines, 5 lines in your subheadline, smaller font. That should be on every page. Every page. What we're trying to do is we're trying to take those subheadlines and turn them into headlines, and then we have 24-word headlines. And our mind can't see that. Our mind doesn't work that way. We don't, I'm not going to get too much into that, but like we don't read. Right? We don't read. There's been so many studies about this that we could take different letters and move them around inside of words, and if we tell you to read it quick, you'll read it, and then we could tell you, do you realize there were 33 typos in there? Really? Right, because our mind is just taking little pictures of what's going on. And if you have a headline that's just too big, the person doesn't understand the second they get to your website what's going on. Get more traffic. We say it all the time. We live in the age where we're fighting for attention. And they just swiped, in Facebook over to your website. Now they want to go back because they want to, clear out our feed. That's what we're up against now. We're not mailing letters to people anymore where they're sitting down on their couch and they're going to open it up. We're fighting for attention, for text messages. We're fighting from Facebook note. Oh, Janine just liked your photo. Ooh, oh, wow, somebody loves me. Let me go back. That's what we're up against. So we've got to get the people's attention right away. Next. All right. Johnson boxes. This is generally where you're going to list different things with bullet points or numbered lists. Here's what you're going to get. And these things should change color on the page, generally green or beige. I like to alternate the bullet points. Using bullets. Bullets is very important. Here it says curiosity and self-sorting. Feature, advantage, benefit, and benefit of the benefit. So let's break those down. Let's unbox those. If I'm doing a webinar, and I want to get you onto the webinar, here's a really good curiosity bullet. Ready? On this webinar, you're going to learn this, that, and the other thing, and then there's a bullet point that says, using testimonials on your webinar registration page. Does it hurt conversions or does it kill conversions? Find out on this webinar. Now, I know the answer to that. Would you want to know the answer to that if putting a testimonial on your webinar registration page hurts or conversion or helps conversions? You'd want to know that, right? Yeah, come on my webinar, right? But for this room and on the live stream, I'll tell you what it is. Generally, putting a testimonial on your webinar registration page is going to hurt conversions. You've got to find out what those testimonials are saying. I've been a student of so-and-so. Oh, students usually pay for things. You're telegraphing subconsciously sometimes to the people, right? What you want to do instead is you want to get an authority link. You want Bob Proctor to say, no one knows this more than this guy. Tony Robbins is saying, if I wanted one person to teach me this, it's that. You don't need a student saying that. You're subconsciously saying that you're about to go on and learn a course, all right? So we tested that. So that's an example of using curiosity in a bullet point. doing this or that, will it help or hurt conversion? So try to think of how you can come up with a bullet point like that. Self-sorting. Do you make these mistakes in English, right? If you're teaching Spanish or something like that. Does this happen to you when you sleep, right? Get people to say, am I the A or the B? And the more that they can start identifying with those things, the more they're going to say, yeah, well, that's me, that's me. If that's the case, then this is for you. Feature, advantage, benefit. And then the benefit of the benefit. I like this one. So this is a writer downer, folks. Like if you had this tattooed, because bullet points are the hardest things to write. I can't stand it. It's just, I'm usually in a zone. I want to get in front of a video. I want to just move through. And if I got to write a bullet point, there's a whole nother analytical part of my mind that has to come in. So what I like to do is go to feature, advantage, benefit. I simply talk about the feature. This comes with this. Well, that's the feature. What's the advantage? What's the benefit? What's the benefit of the benefit? Let's talk about something where that could make sense. There's a car. Back in the day, I used to be a car salesman. Not every car came with airbags, so we used to sell them. We used to sell the fact that the car came with an airbag. The airbag is a feature. But our airbags use gold-plated connectors. Not all manufacturers do. That's an advantage, right? We're using gold-plated sensors. The benefit, the feature is an airbag. The advantage is gold-plated. The benefit is that these will not rust, so you can assure when you get into an accident, the airbags are going to go off. That's feature, advantage, benefit. But what's the benefit of the benefit? What's the benefit of that benefit? It's going to save your life. It's going to save your daughter's life. It's going to save your family's life. That is where you have to make sure you connect those things to people. We get caught up in saying, this is the feature, this is the advantage, this is the benefit. So here's how you come up with the benefit. This is the easiest way to do it. You just follow that even in your mind and write these words. So what that means is, and then you'll be able to come up with the benefit of the benefit, right? Your program's going to help me get in shape. I'm going to get six-pack abs. I'm going to get rid of all this extra weight I put on, like COVID-20, let's call it, right? I'm going to lose that weight. It's great. That's the benefit. What that means is I'm going to be able to fit back in all that clothes that I can no longer wear. I'm going to feel more confident about right? We got to sell what I refer to as the promised land. That, folks, is what you're actually selling people, is the promised land, not the little benefit there. All right, next. All right. Webinars and videos, we like to do teaser boxes, like a little tile underneath the video with 4 little blocks that say, in this presentation, you will learn, and then you put the 4 biggest things in the presentation. Because, wow, we've learned that not having a scrub bar on a video will generally help with conversions, but we really don't want to do that to somebody with a webinar replay that's 2 hours long. You want them to be able to go back. Maybe they were on the webinar earlier, but they had to leave earlier, and they just want to, I saw all this, I want to watch the replay so I can start at 1 hour. I generally like to leave the scrub bar for my customers, because I hate when I don't have it. I like to be able to pause and go back and forth. So how I get around that is I put a little teaser box and say, in this presentation today, you will learn with all of these things that we're talking about, the promised land, the benefits. For a webinar replay, what we do is we timestamp the entire webinar all the way down, about 70 lines. We say 1 minute and 32 seconds intro. 2 minutes in, Mike states how you can double your traffic. And then, so now somebody is reading that. It's literally become sales copy, because that's what your webinar is. It's a great training presentation. Mike reveals his first secret that doubled his traffic on Instagram, right? So you put that underneath your webinar replay, and you're telling everybody what's coming, and they're like, oh, I want to skip to that, but I also want to know what's before it and what's after. I'm just going to sit back and enjoy the show. Great technique. Order box recaps. If it's not in your ClickFunnels and GrooveFunnels template, we don't do it, but it should be there. You have to do it. This is direct response. You have this long page, and you're getting this and this and this. You're getting this bonus and that bonus and this and all that. You need that little section. Right now, we just have the template, My Designer. They just put an add to cart button. No, it's supposed to be in a box that says, an unticked tick box, that with words that say, yes, Mike, I'm interested in restating the promising, double my traffic in the next 30 days, and I understand that I'm getting a guarantee, and I'm getting this, and I'm getting this, and I'm getting this. $14,000 value today, only $997. That's the order recap. Because what happens is that some people scroll down and give them a summary of the order. Otherwise, they have to watch the video, or they have to read your whole page, and sometimes your order summary can help you. All right, and finally, the guarantee section and the seal. Why do I say these things? I'm listing them not. I wouldn't have done this 10 years ago. We all did this back then. We used to have templates. We started on a blank template, and we needed all these things. What I said 3 slides, 4 slides back are funnels are the death of direct response marketing. If the funnel designer left out a guarantee seal, some of us forget to state a guarantee. And it needs to be stated every single time. And it's not just a guarantee. It's not just removal of risk. What we want to do is risk reversal. That all of the pain is on me if you get a refund. How do you do that? You say, if you don't like it, keep it. You don't even have to ship it back. Or keep the bonuses, and whatever the case is. So now people are like, wow, this must really work, or he'd be losing a lot of money. That's called risk reversal. That should be in every one of your guarantees. Double your money back guarantee. You have a no questions asked 30-day money back guarantee. We'll give you your money back. But we have a triple your money back guarantee. If my program doesn't do exactly, if you do everything that we say in our program, follow our 12 steps, and you do everything we say in our program, and it doesn't double your traffic, everything you said, then we will triple your money back. We all believe that if somebody actually follows our 12 steps in our program, they're going to get the results, right? The reason why they don't get the results is because they didn't do what we asked them to do. You never even opened up your Facebook account, right? But if you do that, you follow the keyword research and all these different things, you'll have success. So why not offer people a triple your money back guarantee? All right? Make sense? Yeah. All right, cool. Next. Everybody has trouble with this. I'm going to make this real easy for you. We're going to talk about hooks and frames and offers. Mike, how much time do we have left? Midnight. Yeah, right. I don't know if I'm going fast or slow on my time here, but yeah, I don't know what that means. But I guess I'm about 45 minutes in. All right. Hook, frames, and offer. Every single time that you're starting a campaign, the very first thing that you have to do is come up with the hook, right? If you're writing a story, you don't start in the middle. You start at the beginning. So the hook, let's go to the next slide. Let's make this easy. What can be used as a hook? Every funnel needs a hook. How do you hook people? With something of great value that is free, okay? The freemium is your hook. The freemium should be useful but incomplete and also lead them to the next step in the sales process. So you have to look at your business. And if I'm Groove, there's 1,000 different hooks that I can come up with, right? I might come up with a hook on, is it difficult to, hi, it's Mike Filsaime. I'm blah, 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 blah. Do you have trouble coming up with headlines? Right? Yeah, great. In this free report, I'm going to give you the 32 ways that I come up with, great headlines, et cetera, et cetera. All you need to do is enter your name and email address. So I've hooked them on a theme of headlines. Am I going to bring them over to Groove Video? No. I'm probably going to bring them over to something that talks about Groove pages. And I'm going to say, do you know our page builder, you can do this, and we offer it for free. So instead of selling Groove, I started with a hook. Is this starting to make sense? Right? I'll give you an example of kind of like what I'm saying. My brother, 10 years ago, I said, hey, you need some help with your SEO. He goes, what do you talk about? I rank #1 for my school. I said, what do you mean? He goes, when I type my school in, I come up #1. I said, no. I said, that's not what people are looking for. They would know your school already. They're looking for the best daycare for children in South Florida, in Parkland, in Boca Raton. And so he got it. And so the problem that we have sometimes with our business is we're thinking that I'm going to go straight, what we call on the nose, directly what they're looking for, a page builder. Right? I might not even get your attention. You're using ClickFunnels or Wix. I've heard it all before, page builder. Well, I've solved that problem already. So I've got to come up with a hook. I'm going to hook you with something free. And now that I got your attention, you get to know, like, and trust me, and I can walk you through a sale. Starting to make sense for you here a little bit? Making sense? Good. All right. Next. All right. What is a frame? I like this part of the presentation. As humans, we're all hardwired for stories. So we didn't always have television, we didn't always have social media, we didn't always have radio, and we didn't always have something to read. So 250,000 years ago, leading up until just Little House on the Prairie, what we did at night is we told stories from our ancestors. And if I say to you, let me tell you guys a little story, your brains just like all focus. If somebody was writing down, see, when you hear those things, let me share a story with you. Our brains, the synapses just go up. We love stories. We're tied to stories. So, Mike, we can leave it there, on the slides here. So I'm going to talk about the Antiques Roadshow here, to set up a frame. I'm going to give 3 examples on this, and this is really important, and it has to be in every one of your presentations. Not going to be on a landing page, but anytime, if it's a 3-minute video, you want to have something like this. So let's talk about the Antiques Roadshow, right? We're going to take this desk right here. We're going to slide it up. Everybody familiar with the Antiques Roadshow, right? It's just like it's a roadshow. They're antiques, and people bring their stuff from home, and it's like, all right, let's get rid of that over there. It was worth $200, and the next one comes in, and they, they've already looked out of it. Now they're doing it for television, and they say to the lady, "This is a very, very, very beautiful cherry desk. It was built in 1920. Do you have any idea what this is worth?" The person says, I don't know. I'm hoping maybe $400, $500. My mother says, my grandfather said it had something to do with John F. Kennedy. Actually, yes. Let me tell you something. When John F. Kennedy was killed, and this is a true story, that's why I say it. When John F. Kennedy was killed, everything happened very, very quickly. It was a real quick transition. They weren't prepared for it. They brought Lyndon Johnson right in, and they packed up Camp David, and a lot of the stuff just went out, and it was happening so quick that we believe your grandfather said to somebody, "May I have this desk?" And they gave the desk, and we've been looking for it for the last 40 years. So what if I was to tell you that this desk right here, we can probably auction for $75,000? Oh my goodness, it's crazy. What did we just do to something that has intrinsic value? We gave it perceived value, right? We've attached emotion and a story to it. This stuff is very, very important, right? Let's go to the next slide here. All right, the Mona Lisa. All right, and the first bullet point there says literally the definition of framing. Because the truth is, I can take the Mona Lisa and I can put it in the lobby right now if I took it out of the frame and I took it out of the Louvre and I took away the bulletproof glass and the red things and everything like that, and 700,000 people a day taking a picture of it. If I took it out of the frame and I stuck it in the lobby, every one of us would walk by and we would just be like, well, if it was a Mona Lisa, it wouldn't be here. So we need to put a frame around our products. And why is the Mona Lisa so famous? Anybody know the story about this? All right. Mona Lisa is just one of the many paintings of Leonardo da Vinci. That's it. And that's it. That's it. And that's all it ever was. One of the several dozens or hundreds or whatever the case is. The story, the reason why it's so famous today is that Napoleon, when he was conquering, went into Italy, took some of this work of art. He loved it so much, and he hung it on his wall. The Mona Lisa actually hung in Napoleon's room. And then when he was beaten, they took the Mona Lisa and they put it in a safe, and they brought it back. They brought it to France, and they put it in the Louvre. And back then, you're talking 1870. And then in 1911, it was just a museum like you could walk to in Amsterdam when you go see, Van Gogh. It was just on the wall. One day, a guy, I forget his name, was something like Pergru, something like that. He hid inside of a broom closet, and when they closed the museum, he went and he took that painting off. He knew the story with Napoleon, and when they opened up the door, he put it in his coat and he just walked out with it. And when they walked in, they saw that the painting was missing. And so he felt that this was taken from Italy and it should be given back to Italy. So for 2 years, the Mona Lisa was missing. Here's the thing, why it became so famous. A painting from Leonardo da Vinci was stolen, and tried to describe that smile in a news article. Everything was about the smile. It's not really a smile, it's more of a smirk, but you'd have to see it to believe it and all this different type of stuff. The guy couldn't find anybody to sell it to, and he got busted trying to sell it to a museum in Italy, and he was arrested, and they returned it back to the Louvre, and then it was in the papers. Let's go to the next slide here. What you'll see here is this, let me get the laser pointer. Top left, right here, you're seeing what they walked into. It was just missing off the wall. Over here, this is the story over here. This is where they returned it, and this is where they returned it back from Italy to the Louvre. So what happened was, there's no television, there's no radio, and now this painting that's been talked about from Da Vinci for the last 2 years is now found, and now it doesn't go back on the wall, it goes in this special section. They had to keep making more and more and more for it. And so this is a story that has made the Mona Lisa now worth, it's insured for over $1 billion, because there's a story attached to it, right? So was that an interesting story? I find that an interesting story, right? Make sure we do that with our own products. Let's go one more slide, if we can. We'll talk about the bottom slide there. Colonel Sanders, right? Anybody that's in multi-level marketing knows the Colonel Sanders story, right? You know, he had the recipe for chicken, and he had this, what do you call those compression pots? Pressure cookers. He was the first guy to pressure cook chicken, and he had this thing, and he went from to restaurant to restaurant to restaurant. He knocked on over 700 doors, got 700 no's, and finally he said, forget it, I'm going to start my own restaurant, right? These are stories that we tell about perseverance. That, you know, what happened if we would have stopped at 699 no's, you know, those different types of things. So you need to develop a captivating story about your secret sauce. Remember the acai berry back, you know, craze 10, 12 years ago, right? The secret Brazilian fruit nut from the, you know, from the Brazilian forest, and there was acai berry shake. They simply created a story around it. That thing's been around forever. And then it took off. Give you another one. You know, less than 100 years ago, diamonds were like, who could care less about it? No, diamonds were just like whatever. And then De Beers came up with the expression, diamonds are forever, and they started the campaign about the engagement ring. People didn't get diamond engagement rings in the past, and it's one of the most successful advertising campaigns that'll probably live on, you know, forever. They created a story and a frame to put around an engagement ring. Let's move on. Here's just a list of stuff. Like I said, I had to condense some stuff into an hour. I could do a 5-day workshop on this type of stuff, but just some of the stuff at a high level, that when you're communicating to your prospect, every one of your prospects must know this. Number one, there's an enemy that's causing their pain or obstacle. All right? There's an enemy that's you have to identify what that is. All right? We do that. Once we identify the problem, we agitate, solve. Problem, agitate, solve. So what is an example of problem, agitate, solve? Well, you've got a kid that, 19-year-old kid, she's on the cheerleading squad, and she has a little bit of acne, and she's looking for an acne cream. What we need to do when we talk about the problem, we need to agitate it, right? We need to let them know, that you're going to be on camera, you might get called, for the States, and you're going to be on TV and all this different type of stuff. And if you're in sales, right, do you want to have, I suffer maybe from acne, and I get these whiteheads, and every time I'm showing somebody a ring, they keep looking up, and I know it's affecting my sales, and it affects my confidence, and all these different things. So you've got to make them relive that pain a little bit more to really help them buy today, so that your cream can help them get rid of the acne, and that's the solve. Next thing you want to let them know, always, these next two things. It's not your fault, and you're not alone. Very, very powerful in copywriting. I want to let you know something. Not being able to get traffic, it's not your fault. And then you throw everybody's telling you this, and they're telling you different things, right? You have to let them know, I understand, it's confusing. And then you say, and you're not alone. I've found traveling the country speaking, blah, 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 many people are having this problem. And sometimes you can show statistics, right? If it's about losing weight. The Attorney General says this, New York Times, USA Today says this. So many Americans are obese, all that type of stuff. You've got to back up that you're not alone. And then people like, oh my goodness, so this isn't unique to me. Other people have this problem. And then after that, you need to tell them, I alone can fix it. Okay, it's true. It's true. They'll never tell you that. Look at them back there, the fake news. You have to let them know that you alone can fix it. Your product, your service is going to fix it. Nothing else can do it better, as it says right here. Not only can it be fixed and solved easily, quickly, and affordably. The three things that are in every single time I'm doing a webinar. These things come out so easy for me to say. People love to do things fast, they want to do things easy, and they don't want it to hurt their pocketbook. You got to put that in every one of your messages. You're going to get fast results. It's going to be very easy to do this system when you follow my step-by-step process, and affordable. And then, it just seems logical. Like if that bullet point wasn't there, I would just go right into this, right? In fact, it works so well, just look at what these people had to say. See how easy this is? It's so easy. Talk about the problem, it's an enemy, right? And what solves the problem? Your secret sauce, your active ingredient. Certs. Remember certs? Why? Let's see, I don't think they advertise that anymore. Certs with what? Retsin, right. Certs with Retsin. That was their secret. Lifesavers didn't have Retsin, right? So you've got to find out your little secret sauce that makes you stand apart. Sometimes it's your knowledge, your expertise, your experience, how long you've been doing it, right? Whatever, your manufacturing process, right? You ever see sometimes commercials, they say, made with German engineering, right? Right? We know they make BMWs and Porsche and Mercedes-Benz, and these cars are good, and so our factory is in Germany, right? And if that's an advantage, say that. Made in the USA. If you're made in the USA and you're a patriot, have a little thing about that, a little block that says, by the way, our products are made by Americans for Americans, or whatever the case is. And hey, these little things all matter to different people. And obviously, if you're proud of it, like I would be. All right, next. All right, the offer fundamentals. Every offer needs to be special. All right? Give you an example. What type of English muffins do we all like? What brand? Thomas's, right? We take no substitutes, ever. Unless we walk around the counter and it's $4.79 and you see 2 for $3, and it's, well, maybe for the store brand today, they're not that bad, where I can get 2 for $3 instead of getting 1 pack for $4.97, right? So we want to run specials. We said that before. People buy specials, attach your product to it. Why should I buy today? That's always the thing. That's why special deals go at the end caps of supermarkets. So first thing is you need to have a reason why sale. The reason why, put because and come up with anything. There's a study in the book. Michelle, you love this study. It's a favorite thing that I talk about. In Influence of Psychology of Persuasion, they did a test about compliance. And one of the tests was they wanted to see how important a reason was. So the first thing they did is there's a very busy copier in the university, usually about 30, 40 people deep. So they had somebody come to the back of the line and then say, because they were testing to see what would happen how good the excuse was. And so he said, excuse me, can I please cut the line? And without a reason why, he was only allowed to cut the line 18% of the time. So now they said, okay, now let's put in a compelling reason why. So the second test, they sent the students up to the back of the line at the peak time, and they tapped and they said, excuse me, can I please make a copy because I'm late for class? Yeah, sure. And then all the way through, he went in, I think it was 89% compliance rate that he was able to get to the front of the line. And so I said, I wonder how important the reason is. Or is it just because he's saying because, he or she? So they go up and they do the test a third time, and the person then says, hi, excuse me, would it be okay if I cut the line because I really need to make a copy? And the compliance went from 89 only down to 85%. The reason why was that important, the word because. And just because I need to make a copy, everybody on that line does, but they gave a reason, and the people were like, okay, well, if you're asking with the word because, I guess it's just the way we're wired as humans. I can't explain it. So always have a reason why sell. Discount versus normal price. All right. Always want to have a price anchor. This normally sells for. But today, in this room, on this webinar, right, this special offer, this Black Friday reason why sale, Independence Day sale, President's Day sale. We had one for Evergreen Business System 10 years ago. It was Valentine's. it's close enough to Valentine's Day, so we just had a share the love sale. Hey, because it's Valentine's Day, we want to share the love. We're saving you money. Oh, great, thank you. Right? It's just a reason why. Why are you having the sale today? You know, if you don't have a reason why, it comes across as groveling. Well, why? I don't understand why. Why is there a discount today? Well, we just felt like discounting it, giving the people a reason why they love it. Thank you. Share the love. Valentine's, love it. All right, next thing is very important. People leave this out all the time. The two things fundamentally that make an offer, that construct your offer. One is the price terms, and number two is the product fulfillment terms, right? So talk about the product terms real quick. It's on the second one. We'll talk about that quick. That means what they're going to get and how they're going to get it, right? You need to describe. Is it digital? Is it physical? Is it both? Do you get the MP3? Am I reading it? Is it read by somebody else? Does it drip? Do you get it all at once? Do you get to keep the bonus? You need to work on that and try to make that as advantageous to the consumer. And when you're describing it, maybe don't call it a PDF, right? What value does a PDF have, right? But if you name it something better, my secret guide to doubling your profits, right? You don't want to call it, you get a downloadable PDF. Let's talk about the price terms. So many times I see people offering $497, just $497. I'll give you some ideas of price terms. You can do $497, you can do 3 payments of $197, or you can do nothing today and nothing for 30 days, and then just 3 payments of $197. That's your $497 price point. So how many people want to buy today? I'm not going to ask you to raise your hands, right? But I'm sure there were some of you in here that, maybe bought from 1 or 2 speakers and really wanted from the third and just, hey, I'm going to get a little trouble back home and I got a call and I really want this and everybody's buying and there's only 10 left and stuff like that. I don't have the money right now, but I really need this. Well, that happens all the time on stage and webinar. What if you were to say to somebody, I understand if you don't have the $497 today, what if I did this for you? What if I gave you my product right now today? You'll get back into your room. You'll have full access. You're going to learn everything. You're going to get my software. You're going to get this. You're going to get that. No payments for 30 days. And then after 30 days, you just pay 3 payments of $197. That sound cool to everybody? Yeah. What? You just friggin' tripled your conversion rates right there. Take the pain away today. I'll figure it out in 30 days. If I don't like your course, I'll cancel before the first product comes in. Now, what's going to happen, I'm going to tell you right now, is you're only going to collect 50% of those payments. 2 payments of $197 is $400. Will you take that instead of $497 to make the sale? All day long. All day long, I'll take that $400 and triple my conversions. Here's a stat that is 100% fact, and I wouldn't believe it if we didn't do it. Matt, remember when we first did the groove pages and then we had the future products? So our original offer was $497. And then we had a $1,000 upsell after that. $1,000 upsell. Generally, I can tell you right now, if you are selling a $497 product and you have an upsell for $1,997, that you're going to close about 8 to 12%. So let's call it 10% of the people are going to take that offer. If you're kicking butt, you're going to close 15% of those people, especially if it's tied in really, really well. 20%, you're a legend. We close 68% of our people at $1,000. If you guys got an upsell, I'm going to tell you how you do it right now. Ready? No payments for 14 days. Take whatever price you're selling, divide it by 3. So I think what we did, we divided by 2. It was $997, right? On my little slide over there, it said the price. And many of us go, what's your price? $997. No, I'm talking in terms of an offer. How do they give you that $997? Many of us go, what are you talking about with PayPal? What I'm saying is, if I want to get $997 out of a person, I say to them, and the best part is, you can get access to all of this today. Everything I went over, and you don't have to make a payment to us for 14 days. And then after that, we bill you just 2 payments of $497. I've just made it easier for people to get into my product, all right? So start considering that when you're making an offer on a webinar, on stage, or in a video sales letter, the terms of the product. How can I make it easier for people? So we just said what they're going to pay and how they're going to pay it. We said what they're going to get and how they're going to get it. And then we have to really close them on that guarantee, the reversal of risk. I'm sure I probably have that down there at the bottom. It's risk reversal. I'll give you like a ridiculous one, right? And if you don't like it, well, don't just let us know. We'll cancel your billing and you can keep the product on us. We'll use the honor system. Now, I've got to tell you, I'd probably be a fool to do that, but it's going to increase the conversions even more. And I'd be willing to test that. Now, Matt, we know we've all been there in rooms, and sometimes we just can't go over the fact that, well, some people are going to take advantage of us and will spite our offer because I just don't want somebody, just knowing they're never going to pay for it. Well, if it increases conversion, I'm all for it. All right, because that's a promise. You said you get to keep it if you decide it's not for you. Right? 10 minutes. Awesome. All right. The benefits of the outcomes and the promised land, not the work. These 2 bullet points. So we went over that, right? The six-pack abs, what's the benefit of that outcome, right? You're going to look better in a bathing suit when you come on the marketer's cruise. That's the benefit of the outcome, right? What we want to do when we're talking to people, folks, if there's one thing that like everybody, some of you, I get it, it's been a long 3 days. This is the real important one when you're talking to people, and that is the promised land, not the work. When you're going over what you're going to get in Module 1 and what you're going to get in Module 2 and what you're going to get in Module 3, I'm telling you right now, you had them here, and now you just lost them. They're not buying. You're literally telling them every chapter of the encyclopedia. Your kids are going to get this encyclopedia, and they're going to, the promised land. They're going to be the smartest kids in their class. They're going to go to the best colleges. Let me tell you what's in the first encyclopedia. They're going to learn, oh my goodness, this is boring, this is work. When are they going to find the time to read all that? We do that with our exercise programs. Module 1, we're going to teach you how to wake up at 6 a.m. and do your morning exercise before you go to work. I'm still in. And I'm going to teach you how to eat gluten-free and how to eat rice cakes with no butter and no... I really want the six-pack abs while I'm eating, a Twinkie, right? You cannot let them know the work. They have to do the work. They'll be happy to do the work after they pay you. So what do you tell them about Module 1? The promised land. When you're done with this module, you will finally be able to get up feeling stronger about your day, being more nutritious, have more energy, not need a nap. Get it? See what's going on? We're telling them, in this module, we're going to teach you just the outcomes. This module will get you this outcome. This module will get you this outcome. This module helps you with your keywords. This module helps you get traffic. This module will make you a copywriting legend in 2 days, right? That's what the module will do, but you don't want to tell them about the works. If you start saying you're going to do 60 push-ups, 3 sets of push-ups, 3 sets of sit-ups, and you're going to jump rope for 5 minutes, that is what's in the modules maybe, right? Your P90X or whatever it is, but you're selling people out of the sale. I'm on webinars all the time, folks, and people do a really, really good job, and then when they start getting here, if you've ever felt that, like even almost bad for the speaker, it's like, wow, I think they were doing so well. I was ready to buy, but something's going on. They're showing you all the work you have to do, right? And then they get crazy about bonuses. And the 7th bonus we're going to give you is, I did a Twitter course in 2009. It's like, what? This is called like fake bonus stacking, right? And it's a $47,000 value that you'll get today for just $197, right? It's all falling apart right here because you've seen it done on stage and you're thinking, I'm just going to give them everything. Get rid of your bonuses. Let's go back to the slides here. Look at that, the extra bonuses. I'm right there. So what are bonuses? Here's another writer downer, folks. You're going to love this. All right? Bonuses do this. You have to understand that your product creates objections the customer didn't have until they buy your product. What did you just say? That doesn't make sense. When somebody gets your product, they now have problems that they didn't have before they had your product. Let me give you a little example of this. Now, The Price is Right, right? You just won a brand new Cessna airplane. Right? What problems do I have? I got to learn how to fly, right? Well, don't worry. Here's the bonus. We give you a free 3 months of flight school valued at $4,000. Ooh, shoot. What else am I? What the problem I'm going to have? Yeah. Where? Yeah, right. Afraid of heights, insurance, right? What you got to make it easy. All these objections, right? And where am I going to keep it? Right? Well, don't worry. We're going to give you 1 year free, free storage at the airport. Oh, cool. So I don't have to drive it down my road and taxi it into the airport. So your problem is creating objections for people that they didn't have until they got your product. And I'm going to tell you how you could figure them out. They ask you on your webinars, is there anything else I need to buy when I get this? Where am I going to get this? You folks were doing it all weekend. Like when I do this, put them in bonuses and answer the objections. I'm going to tell you the best guy I've ever seen do this, my friend Russell Brunson. He was speaking, he launched ClickFunnels at our event called Traffic Genesis Live, my previous company. And he was just recently telling the story. So one of the things that I loved about this presentation is Russell said, does everyone want to see how I can build a website in just 15 minutes? We're going to put a countdown timer, watch it. We're going to bring somebody up from stage. And we're going to build them a landing page in just 15 minutes. Hit the timer. And they go, boom, 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 boom. And he's like, was that great? Everybody, round of applause. Everybody cheered. Man, I wish I had Russell's energy. We'd all be up right now. Right? And I'm looking at this thing, and it's great. Russell realized something. His product just created objections for the people that they didn't have until they got the product. So he says, isn't that great? Yeah. And they went, somebody came up to me and they said, Russell, this is awesome. I can finally build a website. I can get rid of my developers and I can publish it. Thank you very much. The only thing is, all your templates said lorem ipsum. Like, what do I put there? Oh my goodness. The product created an objection for the customer. So he said, wow, I got an idea. I got a copywriting course I sell for $497. Would it be okay if I gave you that for free today? Right? And it was, yeah, okay, great. And then somebody walked up to me and said, Russell, now I've got a website and now it's going to convert really good and I've got good copy, but where do I get traffic? And I was like, oh, yeah, you know what? I got a Facebook traffic course and a Google traffic course. I normally sell both of those for $497. It's $1,000 value. Would that be okay if I gave you that today for free? You seeing how great that works? Your product creates objections. Find out what they are. The bonuses, that's all that matters. It's the only bonus you want to be giving is something that handles the objection of your product. Other than that, you're just bonus stacking. And the more bonuses that you give people is the more what they have to do. The more work. The more things they have to read. Nobody wants all these different. If you're teaching an Instagram course, great. Don't start giving, you're going to get my copywriting course, you're going to get this. It's like, oh my goodness, like when am I going to go through all of this? If I buy this, I'm committed to going through it. The results is all they want. Focus on that. All right, so let me tell you one more thing about your bonuses. You have 8 modules. You probably have those bonuses in modules 5, 6, and 7. So go from 8 modules to 5 modules, and take those other 3 modules and make them bonuses. If you've already solved the objection in your course, take it out of the course and make it a bonus. And then bring up the objection. Let the people go, oh yeah, that's right. And then say, would it be okay if I gave you that for free? And on a webinar, would it be okay if I gave you that for free? Type 1 in the chat, right? Yeah, awesome. And then what are they doing? They're saying, oh, this person's so generous. This is so great. I got to tell you, when I said to you just before, would that be okay if I gave you that for free? I felt good, and I bet some of you wanted to go, yeah, and I was just making up a scenario, right? All right, next, testimonials. What makes a good, I got 4 minutes, we're doing 5 minutes. What makes a good testimonial? I'm going to give you the formula. So simple. Grab your phone, ask these people these 3 questions, write them down. Ready? What was life like before my product or service? That's it. Let them talk. Next question. And you don't have to, your voice doesn't have to be on the testimonial. It can be written or it can be on video. Second question. What was life like when you had your first immediate results with my product? Third question. What is life like today? Want to hear that beautiful testimonial? Before Groove, I was spending about $3,000 a month on about 15 different products. I had this, I had ClickFunnels, I had ActiveCampaign, I had Infusionsoft, and I was trying to get it all to work together, and I had to pay these different people like $4,000 a month to get it done, and I was going broke before I could, ever do it, and then it was hard and it was expensive. Great. That's what life was like before Groove. What was life when you had your first, well, then the smile changes, right? Once I got Groove, I logged in and I realized, oh my goodness, this is great. I've got everything in one dashboard, and I don't have to make payments to 17 different companies. But the beautiful thing was I was able to get my website up and running in about 30 minutes, and I'm not a techie person, and now I have this beautiful website online. So we got what was like the pain before us, the immediate results, and what's life like today? Well, gosh, it's been 18 months now, and I'm happy to say I just had a $7,000 month. I don't know if I'll do it every month, but we're doing about $5,000 online. That's your testimonial. Those are the 3 questions you need to ask. You need to tell your people what to tell you.
By the way, I feel the same way about as cheating.
Yeah,
about group pages. I love designing group pages.
Thank you, buddy. Is that easy? Will you guys use that every single time? You'll go out to your customers and say, hey, can you give me these 3 questions? I wish there was a software I could remember. We just did one. Is Joey in the room? I hope not. I just used the software for Joey's birthday. Do you remember the name of the link we had to go to? There's a cool thing where you can send a link out to people, and it'll ask them the questions, and they just put it right into a webcam. I'll get you that later. All right. I think I'm maybe over at this point. All right. General versus specific and inline. Okay, this is, I wouldn't say the mistake with testimonials, but let me show you how to turbocharge your testimonials. Do not put your testimonials only in one page that says testimonials. Your testimonials need to be put throughout your presentation, through your webinar presentations, your stage presentations, your video sales letters, and your long-form sales letters. Let me show you how that works. You say something like, you may be asking yourself, I'm a baby boomer. I didn't grow up with the internet. I'm a technophobe, and you may be wondering, is this easy for me? Who are they going to believe, you or a person that got the results? So instead of telling them, use a testimonial from somebody else and say, I understand how you feel. Bob, who is an 83-year-old former this, that, and the other thing, felt the same way. Here's what Bob had to say. And then there's a person that they identify with that is saying, this is easy. So any single time that you're trying to prove a case, in line in the webinar, let's see what, here, Janine had the same problem. She's a single mom. She was working a full-time job and a part-time job, right? How much time will I need? Do you want to tell them you can do this for 4 hours a day? Or wouldn't it be better to have Jan, who is a single mom, was raising kids, took them to Boy Scouts, and she's saying I had to take them to Boy Scouts and everything like that. I was working 2 jobs, and I was still able to get my business up and running because they said it would take only 3 hours a week, or whatever the case is. I'm making this stuff up, but you get the point, right? You gotta support your claims. The best way to do it is have the testimonials. Reach out to your customers. Have these campaigns go out to your customers so you can get them to give you this stuff. All right. Video Peel. Video Peel. That's the service that did that. Urgency, scarcity, and the consequences. Every offer must end at a specific time, and even better, be limited to the number of quantities and or both. It's only available to the next 500 people or until Sunday at midnight, whichever comes first. Start showing crossouts. 74 left, 32 left. We've all seen that. You're on QVC. You're watching the late night infomercial, right? I have a Ron Popeil Showtime Rotisserie Gold. And I bought one from my mom too. I'm going to tell you why. Because the offer was so good. I didn't need the product. The offer was so good. So here's the Ron Popeil spiel. I'll try to channel Ron Popeil. Isn't that great? You just set it and forget it. Right, so you're probably wondering how much this is going to cost you today. Well, Price Anchor, you've probably seen ovens like this sell in luxurious magazines for up to $2,000. What did we just do? Price Anchor, the value of this thing is $2,000 and people paying it. Next thing, it says, and it doesn't even do half of what the Showtime Rotisserie Gold does. But you're not going to pay $2,000 today. If you ever hear a speaker doing that and you're wondering where did this number come from, they're doing it wrong. This is where the Price Anchor starts. You set the competition's price, and then you set what we call the false price. So you're not going to pay $2,000. And be quick with this. You're not going to pay $14.97. You're not going to pay $9.97. You're not going to pay $4.97, not even $2.97, not even $1.97. Today, you're going to pay, or maybe $1.97. Today, you're going to pay just 2 payments of $99. But wait, there's more. Objections. The pan is hot. I'm going to give you gloves, all that, right? So now we bonus stack. We give the objections. And then we say, but if you order now, what we're going to do is we're going to knock off one of those payments. And we're going to give it to you today for the first 500 callers for just $99. Does that sound great? It's got the audience, right? Social proof and everything like that. But we're not done just yet. If you promise to tell just one friend about the Showtime Rotisserie Gold, we're going to give you a second one absolutely free. You just pay the shipping and processing. And since the holidays are coming up, this would make a great holiday gift. I solved the problem. What am I going to get for my mom? And I got mine for free, right? That, folks, is an absolute gorgeous offer. And when you hear it, you love it. And if you're selling and you feel icky, it's because you're not doing it right. When you put all of these things together, people are literally saying this, it just keeps getting better and better and better. And I tell you what, risk reversal. If it doesn't do everything we said and more, and you don't lose 10 pounds and blah, 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 and it cuts the fat, George Foreman grill, all this type of stuff, all of these bonuses, the Rotato, the carrot peeler, the this, the that, all of that stuff is yours to keep for free, and we'll pay for the shipping back, right? Make it easy for the customer. That, folks, is an offer, right? And we've got to be able to say to ourselves, how do I make an offer? That's why I started at the beginning. And I say, what is your offer? He said, I'm teaching people how to do traffic. I sell it for $4.97. It's like, okay, we've got a lot of work to do. We've got a lot of work to do. And I've just given you the blueprint. Let's see what else we've got here. I think risk reversal, FAQ to answer objections. This works great on stage and on webinars, and certainly video sales letters. FAQs are there to handle objections and make the sale. So pre-build them. But don't have the FAQs that are real FAQs. Like they can get that at the website. If you're making a presentation, the FAQ should be, can I take PayPal? Not only can you take PayPal, but PayPal is something called Bill Me Later. So you can check that box and not make any payments for 6 months, right? You've got, every one of these FAQs is building to the sale. Folks, you do this stuff, this is what I call a no-fail offer. People call me on the phone all the time. What's going on with the offer? I said, what's your hook? What's your frame? What's this? All the way through. When we're done, they put it out there. They're having success. That's being great and not good. Being good is just pulling up a ClickFunnels template or a GroupFunnels template. It says, insert your headline here, and you think you're done. We've got to know the direct response, or we've got to pay somebody to do it for us. We've got to partner somebody to do it for us. Does that all make sense? Yeah. My time is up, and I hope that was good for you. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you.